What's up, everybody? How we doing tonight? Happy Saturday. What's going on? Hammer. It's hammer time. Good to see you guys. Good to be you guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. Miss Robbins in the house. Mr. Hammer, the second bestie. Miss Heather, my dear Miss Heather. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, Miss Brandy. Miss Robin and Gizmo and Miss Michelle Wilkinson. Welcome back again, my dear. Good to see you. Good to be you. The sweetest lady on the internet, everybody. Miss Cece is in the house. Thank you so much once again for coming in. Mr. David James, my brother. Good to see you. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. As always. As always. That is our resident stand-up comedian, my friends. Everything David says is hilarious. I'm sorry. All right, what else we got? Who else we got? Anybody else at all? I don't know. Not yet, but oh, what's that? What's that? Could it be? Could no, that's just strike first. But he's tempting the Cupcake Bandit by offering up cupcakes, guys. So we shall see. Will we get a visit from the bandit? Shall we? Maybe. Hopefully. Maybe not. I don't know. Still hasn't talked to me personally, but I don't care. He came in here. That was enough for me. One second, everybody. No, it's not. It's not a do-rag. It's my hat. So sorry. Yeah, the new season is pretty good. My son's like, "There's a season 6, Dad. I'm telling you, there is." Yeah, okay. I believe him. They better be. That's all I gotta say. How is everybody's weekend thus far? Um, no thanks. It's Doug. Hello, Doug. How are you, Doug? How's the audio tonight, everyone? I rewired everything, put it through. Of course, we're not going to know unless somebody jumps up here, so whatever. But it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. What's going on? Damn caps lock. Why are you in here yelling at people in my stream, Doug? What did they do to you? I don't understand. I'm not allowed to do it on your side of things. Why are you yelling at my side of things? He's going to rage quit, guys. Watch. He'll rage quit. I promise. Watch. Miss Sammy, what's up? How we doing tonight? I am just kidding, by the way. Welcome, Mr. Doug. My name is yelling. My name is yelling. I told you I have to. I only got 4 letters, and I'm just a little guy. I got to make everything look bigger and more important. That's why I do that. It's yelling, and it's in quotes too, so it's kind of whatever. Anyway, what's going on tonight, guys? What's new? What's good? Other than my extreme panic mode I went into last night, Michelle come in here and made a comment about the Summer Wells scenario, saying that there was a sighting, and I went like completely apeshit and fell into a solid panic attack, trying to figure out why I didn't know anything about it, and I guess it was a false alarm. Wishful thinking, guys. Oh well, but I appreciate you, Michelle. I do, absolutely do. Thank you so much for keeping me informed, because I'd have never known about it. Don't know why. Wow, that's pretty cool. Got Karate Kid in a movie on Popcorn. Other one said, okay, yeah. Which one are you watching? The good ones from back in the day, or are you watching that new crappy one? Newer crappy one, I should say. A pathetic attempt at crazy. Is it still hot out there, Robin? Or I can even ask you that, Doug. Is it hot out there? Thank you, Miss Heather. Appreciate ya. It's actually cold here, you guys. It's like 52. I think 52 or... Let me see. I'm sorry. It's 51 degrees out right now. Yeah. So... out California, my brother. Yep, that's where she's at. That's where Doug's at, I believe. Californication. It's hot out there. Like, kind of like hell, you know? Yeah. Original cry. Yes. That's the best one, Sammy. The best one. The first one, yes. And the second one's okay. The third one I wasn't a fan of. And then that other one where they completely, like, forgot about Danielson and said, fuck it, he's grown. I don't need him no more. And moved on to that girl. I was out of it completely. Like, nope, sorry. It's not for me. I'm done. Captain Random's in the house, everybody. Welcome, Edward Valdez. It's good to see you, sir. Ain't seen you in a minute. Good to see ya. Yeah, I know I'm lucky. I love it. Thank you, Cece. I absolutely love it. I am so sick and tired and done with the weather, the heat. I feel bad for you guys on the West Coast. I really do. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But pretty soon it's going to be, well, shit. You guys don't even really get wintertime like we do. Did someone call for Daniel? There's Danielson right there. Danielson. How are you this evening, sir? It's the weekend, and I am bored, so here we are. Yes. I went today and left the house. Imagine that. The wipe was off. So me, her, and the older child, and the grandchild, and the youngest child. Basic dude, what's up? Dude. Sup, dude? Love the name, dude. Yeah, I get it. Like, when is it going to start cooling down out there for you guys? Seriously. My day was great, Cece. Actually, thank you for asking. Went to a toy show, a retro toy show, it was called, and goody golly gracious, I got to meet Cowboy Bob Orton and some other guy that I never fucking heard of. They were wrestlers, I guess. I knew who Cowboy Bob Orton is. This other dude, and I'd never heard of him. His last name was Grayson or something like that. And they had these, listen guys, this was hilarious. Of course, people age. It's natural life, you know, it is what it is. No big damn deal. But it's only 94. Only. That's sad when you have to say that it's only 94 degrees. But anyway. So, you guys know I'm a toy collector. So we go to this toy show. We're walking around, checking shit out, looking stuff. I've seen a lot of cool shit. I wish I would have had I kind of like was freaking out, upset, because I don't even collect Transformers from the 80s. But this guy had a Generation 1, the first gen, Megatron, in the box, brand new, never opened, in mint condition, and was only selling this thing for $50. I could have cried. It runs at like $350, $400 in bad condition normally, but whatever. So anyway, I mean, there was a lot of cool shit there. I didn't get to buy anything, of course, you know, because I'm a broke bitch, but looked around. It was just nice to get out with everybody, you know, and do something different. And it was $50, CC. Yes, it was $50. And like I said, I even looked at the guy. I'm like, that's the price tag on it. And he was like, yeah. I'm looking around at people and I'm like, do I say something? I mean, I didn't have the money to buy it anyway. That's why I didn't care. But I didn't want anybody else to get it because I was pissed. Because I couldn't get it. You know what I mean? It's whatever, though. The way I look at it is it wasn't meant to be for me. And that's okay. There's more important things that I need in my life right now. So, anyway, my daughter made cupcakes, and I snorted out my soda. Remembering what happened. Oh, I got you. Yeah. The bandits. Last night was great, guys. It was great. I know that I'm not in that part of YouTube really that much anymore, the whole drama crap and bullshit, and I'm doing something different, but the person that it affected, it was a glory evening for me to watch, because I was just happy with the way everything happened, I guess. Everyone I went today, I saw cupcakes. I think everybody wanted to eat cupcakes today after last night. It was kind of cool. I need to see someone fully put, yeah. And that's what it's all about, you guys. And you know what? You guys know I'm the nice guy. Everybody claims, Dago's soft, and he's this and he's that, and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Okay? I still have angst towards certain people out here because there's a few people I just don't like. Okay? You guys know a few right offhand. There's another one. Doug probably knows who he is. I do not like him at all. I don't think Doug likes him either. There's quite a few people that don't like that one, but it is what it is. Okay? So I just stay away from him as often as I can. But seeing what happened to the one specific person as of last night, don't be offended when I say this, but I think my nipples got hard, guys. That's how excited I was. It's ridiculous. It really was. I shouldn't be that excited if somebody's miserable, but for what he's done to so many people, it's just like, yes, it's finally capital K Arma. It's time. You know what I mean? So whatever. So yeah, I think everybody wanted to eat cupcakes today, and again, like I said last night, welcome to Wolfpack Bandit. You know what I'm saying? Because you know damn well he's automatically just in. Like there's no, you don't pass go. You don't collect $200. You don't pay no dues. You don't pay no initiation fees. You're just in the fucking door when you pull some shit like that. So it is what it is. So, that being said, yes, Miss Brandy, karma finally came a knocking. Whatever, we'll see. And what I'm hoping is that wasn't like just a one and only thing, But I don't know. I mean, I can't see somebody being able to do that and repeatedly do that, so and get away with it. You know what I mean? Whatever. Camera down, but I'm still here. It's the all-seeing eye of the Dago. It's watching you. It's seeing everything. So be careful. I'm not goofy. My wife told me I was goofy today. I said, goofy how? Goofy like a clown? Wrong movie. Sorry, anyway. Yeah, exactly, David. Exactly. Yeah, it's slow going, Robin, but you'll see. No worries. I'm just going to leave it at that. And we can talk about it later. No worries. No problems, no worries. You know what? I don't even know. Does anybody know this icon thing I have up here? Somebody told me something about it before. I have no idea what it is. I just thought it looked really fucking cool. So I threw it up there. And it looks neat when it's talking. Or when I'm talking, Come and knock on our door. Level loud they did now. Throwing cupcakes. Probably. It was just free dessert, that goes, oh, you guys, I have to tell you, today, at that whole retro toy show thing that we walked through, they did have a vendor. They had a couple of vendors there. Well, they had one that was selling like smoothies and crap like that. And absolutely love chai tea. Okay, I mean, I drink it like water if I have it. Um, Mortal Kombat. Yes, exactly, David. Get over here. Anyway, I had never seen it made frozen, and they made it, and I tried it, and oh my god, it was so good. It was the best thing I've ever had in my life. And she made it with stevia, not real sugar, because I don't do the sugar thing. And I swear to God, I don't think it would have been better with um, uh, regular sugar in it. So yeah, it was fucking amazing. So now I'm trying to find a recipe online all damn day. I've been looking for it because she made it really quick, the lady inside the thing. But I asked her, I was like, "You wouldn't happen to be interested in like throwing the recipe for that my way, would you?" After I took 2 drinks of it, she looked at me and laughed. She was like, "No, sorry, can't do that. Trade secrets, you know." And I was like, "Fuck, okay." I said, "Well, do you think there's a website I could look it up on?" She goes, "No, because I put my own shit in here." I mean, I know how to make chai for the most part. It's just cinnamon and like I've made it in I'll use tea bags, and make a hot cup of tea, some cinnamon, nutmeg, and I use the French vanilla sugar-free creamer and mix it all together, and it comes out tasting just like it. Pretty close. There's something missing, but so I'm figuring I would just make it, like that, and throw it in the Ninja thing we got, and some ice, and next thing you know, you got it. So got it. I'm telling you, Heather, if you like it, it's fucking amazing. It really is. It's the best thing I've had in years. I used to have an addiction, you guys, before I went on this whole sugar-free thing. To the that was another story too. I had never had these things before. Okay, the McDonald's sells these frappuccino, I believe it's called. And my wife decided. My wife loves iced coffee. That's all she has. Miss Pam, Tony, how are you this evening? Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, exactly, Tammy. Exactly. Um. Oh, I already found one. There's no way I'm letting that go. Um. But anyway, so not this last summer. Last summer it was, yeah, I think it was last summer. I shit. Hold on a minute. What the hell's going on? Okay, so last summer we were out doing something, and she was like, "Pull through the drive-through at McDonald's. I want to get." I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Robin. Yeah, I hear the air quality out there's not really great. Are you close to in the vicinity of one of them fires going on right now? Unless I misheard it, I was on the news watching it, and they said there's fires going on near Truckee, where the whole Kylie Rodney thing went down. Oh wait, whoa! What's this? What's this? New photo posted. We will be heading home tomorrow. We will all be heading home tomorrow. There it is again. But we are far from finished. Good night, good people of YouTube. This is crazy, guys. I love it though. All right, where's my phone? I gotta look. Sorry, but I do. Where it is. All right, hold on. Give me a moment. Everybody, give me a moment. You gonna talk to me, Bandit? Like, if I try to talk to you, you gonna talk to me, or no? You're gonna keep ignoring me, or is it? I hope that's for sake of your whatever, your ploy or your plot, because it's rude. It's rude, and I don't like it. But I do like what you're doing, so it's okay with me. Let me see. Let me see. Twitter. I don't know. You know what, Sammy? I'm all day long. I was thinking about that last night. You know how close I was with Wrath. And I've talked to some other people that were close with Wrath as well. And I'm starting to wonder. But I don't want to say that out loud. I mean, I've already said it out loud, but I don't want to keep saying that over and over again. If it is, and draw attention to that group of people, and you know what I'm trying to say. So it is what it is. Yes, hola, hola. Give me a hola. There's Strike's offering to the bandit some cupcakes for you. Yeah, please, Robin, do. Especially if the air quality's that bad. Stay inside. Or even air quality warning. It's got to be because of them damn fires. Can you go anywhere else? Out of that area, Robin? Let me see what Twitter says. It's got to say something here. It's Betty Crocker. That's hilarious, David. I love it. I love it. I like it a lot. So I guess I wanted a live stream, and some other people did too. So you guys miss me when I'm not around. You won't admit it, but I think you do. Just say it. You missed me. All right, where are we at here? I'm not even friends with this bandit person. Crocker. Let me see. Let's see. My local store has red velvet cupcakes that are good as F-U-C-K. And I'm not red velvet fan. I'm not either. My wife is. She makes really good red velvet, but I'm not like huge fan. I'm pretty much stuck where I am for now. At least my mom is saving it. Yeah, how's she doing, Robin? Seriously. You need some better luck, sis. Seriously do. All right, let me check this out and see if I can find it. Where are you at, Cupcake? Oh my God, guys, this is... Are you serious? Shut the fuck up. Okay, so that's a license plate. And it's blurred out. There's two peoples. That's two. That's two. I love the masks. This is fucking hilarious because these are the same masks that Dick Sack over there wears. Look. If you guys haven't seen it, that looks like the band. It's got a PA plate. And there they is. This is fucking great. Oh my God. Wow. Your neighborhood seems very peaceful tonight, Mr. Guest. Are you ready for our face reveal? Here's a selfie with one of my brothers or sisters that was taken minutes ago. Enjoy, and we will see you soon. One last photo will be taken this evening before we conclude this stage of our operation. Want to see two of our faces? Stay tuned. We will be back tonight, and we will be photographing ourselves with proof of being at your home once again. Tomorrow we go home for now, but we will return. I was 5 feet from the door. Maybe you are a little hard of hearing due to fatty ear canals. Oh my God. Wow. You think it's Take Back and Steve? Are you serious? I mean, one of them looks like Dis's mask, but that doesn't mean anything. Actually, I think Dis used both of those, or Take Back, whatever, Dick Sack, whoever he is. I think he actually used both of those masks at one time. I think. Well, thank you for the post, Mr. Cupcake Bandit. I appreciate it. I still wish you would talk to me, but it is what it is. Like I said, I will take what I get and smile. This is good stuff, though, my friend. Very good stuff. Whoa, I didn't see this one. It's a video on Twitter of somebody throwing cupcakes at the house. That's whoever you are, got a good arm. Damn. Night one, night two. This is crazy, you guys. It's like a fucking psyop or something. Oh well. Thank you for the info, Bandit, and I will be looking forward to. They will not be back, and y'all need to stop. I'm just reading Twitter and the message that came in here. Why do you care, Rena? I'm not doing anything. Had nothing to do with me, so just passing along the message that was passed along to me. Dude, I'd be shook if I had a cupcake dropper at my door. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like I said last night, this all we brought it. Again, you guys know how I am. This isn't my thing. But the dude brought the shit on himself, in my opinion. He did. He's done so much shit to people that you got to expect something eventually, you know? I mean, at least they're not doing anything like, like dangerous or anything like that. That's a good thing. I don't think I would honestly, like, be as in happy about it if that was going on, because that's not me. That's not how I work. But it's innocent, seems to be just innocent, irritating bullshit that just proving that, they know where you are. And I don't know. Take it however you do. Miss Gina, welcome. Good to see you. Tomorrow's the day. You're marrying off the daughter. Are you guys okay with who she's marrying, Miss Gina? What's up, Black Skull? How are you, my friend? Karma is a great thing. I mean, it is. Like I said, everything that... This is just bullshit little stuff, but, like... The things that have been done to people, and all you guys know about it, and some of you guys in here have had these things done to them, okay, are way worse than this. And you can't just do things to people and then expect it just to be forgotten, forgiven, and go away just because, There you go, Gina. What more can you ask for? As long as she's happy and you're happy, that's what matters. That's not how I meant to say that. As long as she's happy, he's happy, and you guys are comfortable with him, that's all that matters. Today's your birthday, Black Skull? Somebody else's birthday is... I know Strike's birthday is coming up, but there's somebody else. Yes, Broken, the bandit struck again. Let's go to Twitter, bud. Absolutely, Miss Gina. We all wish her the best. I hope tomorrow goes absolutely amazing for you guys. I hope it's amazing, amazing, beautiful day, as I'm sure it will be. Well, I'll say a little prayer and send good vibes that direction for you guys for tomorrow. And you have an amazing day. I hope she has an amazing day. And I hope they have a beautiful, wonderful life together. I know Strike does have a birthday coming up, like really quick here. Happy birthday, Black Skull, first of all. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Broken. I'm sure you're heartbroken over that. Strawberry filled cookies. My wife makes those. Yeah, she makes all sorts of shit. The baking stuff she does, she makes all sorts of. That's it. David's birthday's tomorrow. That's what it was. Happy birthday, Mr. James. Of course, I'll have to say it again. Well, I probably won't talk to you tomorrow, but I will tell you again on Monday. My birthday is in November, so we got a ways to go. Yes, Miss Gina, absolutely. Absolutely. We wish you the best. I wish them the best, like I said, and I hope they have an amazingly beautiful, wonderful life together. A very long one. All right, Robin. All right, I got to use the restroom. I'm going to do two things at once. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Please. And I'm back. What's that? What's that? All right, guys. Here he is. Thank you, Miss Heather. Appreciate that so much. Again, guys, if you could, if you would, if you will, I would appreciate, and most definitely appreciate anybody that has donated to help support me in the channel and that can donate to help support me in the channel. It's a huge help right about now, guys. I really do appreciate that so much. And thank you, Miss Gina. Thank you so much. Welcome back, Miss Robin. The wallpaper must be peeling. Dude, listen. If that's what I was doing, dude, I would still be there. Probably for another 15, 20 minutes at least, okay? Just so you know. Of course I did, Pam. I always do. I went a little to the little boy's room and little pee-pees and stuff, because I drink so much fluid. I'm constantly drinking shit. But thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys worry so much about that. But I'm okay, and here I am. I get it, Black Skull. That's kind of crazy, actually. So did everybody have a... Oh, shit, I forgot my glass. I'll be right back. I went wee-wee, as I always do. I would never do that while you guys are... I couldn't do that. You guys would be sitting here for like 45 minutes. I forgot my cup, guys. I'll be right back. Here we go. Sorry about that. I had to get this back. I love my cup and my fluids. Got to have fluids. So how does the audio sound tonight, guys, honestly? Military sign up. Whoever Cupcake is, my hard guess is it's either Beta, Morticia, Miss D. I don't think Miss D. Miss D's done with this bullshit. She has been for a while. Larry. That's a good one. It's someone he has... Well, dude, he's pissed everybody off. Or ma'am. I don't know if you're male or female, but... It will remain a mystery, so mad props to whoever it is, right? Yeah. Yeah, like David said, half the internet then. I mean, it could be a slew of people, but those are good guesses except for Miss D. Miss D's out of this shit completely. And Veda, from my understanding, is somebody else altogether different and just use that name for like a cover for something. So I don't know about Veda. Larry's understandable. Morty, I doubt it. That's a really long drive, and she works and whatnot, and she's been working, so I don't think so. Especially, in fact, she was working the day that that happened. She takes care of somebody in the evenings, so I don't think at all. We would never know, but I don't know. Um, he must read a book when going poo. I mean, I over exaggerated a bit. Like, I'll say 20, 25 minutes, guys. It's because I eat all this damn uh, protein and fiber in 1 second, y'all. Sorry. Thunderbox. That's a new one. I'm about to shoot my crazy computer. Why? What's going on, Black? He's gonna drink more water so he can punish the. Well, I don't listen, guys. I don't. First of all, I don't. I don't piss like toxic waste, so that's not a problem. And I don't have like thunder piss either, so it's I just pee like normal people. I just go a lot because I drink a lot, and I drink a lot when I'm on here because I'm talking all the time. Sorry, I had to use the ice in my mouth. Yeah, I drink a lot when I'm on here because I talk a lot and it dries my mouth out. So, oh, I got you, Black. So anyway, what is everybody doing this beautiful Saturday evening? Would you like to tell me? I wish I could adjust my camera so that it wasn't so close to my fucking big head. I've watched my live streams with this camera. Even when I'm back here, when I watch it, it looks like I'm like that close to the screen. It drives me nuts. Thank you, Miss Jean. I appreciate that. I love you guys too. So lemonade and not. Yeah, it's not. Actually, it's really, really very, 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 very light lemonade. So thank you. Definitely not black tea. That used to be like that when I drank like 12 cups of coffee a day and 2 liters of Mountain Dew. That's what it looked like then. Not anymore. It's all right now. So what do you guys think about the Queen or King Charles? Charles. Hello, King Charles. How the heck to bypass my ad blocker? I have no idea how that works on your system, bro. Going to watch some UFC. Sounds like some. There you go, David. Pretend it's you beating the shit out of somebody you don't like. Miss Robin's laughing. Thunderpiss. Dun, dun, dun. Second. I'm not a fan. Never have been. I was a fan of Princess Diana's, and I think he did her wrong. And I'll leave it at that because I have other thoughts too, but I just don't like him. Never did. It's in my face. Sorry, guys. Nobody has many thoughts. Excuse me. Right, Robin. Very greasy. All of our money has the Queen and our public holidays, etc. Now, let me ask something. I know this sounds like a dumbass question, but I'm a dumbass, so I don't know how this goes. You're in Australia, and the Queen is the Queen of England, okay? Or the King of England now. Excuse me. Does the royal family like reside over any parts of like Australia or any other parts of Europe or anything like that? Do you guys know? I don't know anything about how that works. I know she's the Queen of England and he's the King of England, so that's where I kind of like drop it because I never really paid attention to any of that enough to know if you know what I'm saying. So you could just say, Dago, you're a dumbass. I'm not answering that. Or if you don't know, you don't know. Yeah, Charles is not a good looking dude. And it's funny because his brother, his father, his mother, his kids, everybody but him got the good looks. The rest of he got everything ugly about that whole family. Australia is colonized by the UK. See, that's what I was wondering. I didn't know how that worked. There's a whole thing about that, Pam. That's why I said I wasn't going to talk much about it. Gina said, "Oh, Dago, that is a long story to tell." Right. We're not going to do that tonight, guys. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Oh, horse face. Camilla, Queen Camilla, the horse face. Yeah, she looks like a horse to me. I'm sorry. Oh, I did want to throw something your guys' way real quick. I'm not going to get into a whole thing on it, but it was something, and if I don't talk about it, my ADHD will let me. I will forget it. We are the convicts they didn't want. Ah, I get it, David. Okay. I'm going to go back and personally read about that myself. Don't worry about nobody having to explain it to me. I've always wondered and never really, I thought about it a couple times here and there, but I never really looked into it, but I will. So, real quick on something, and then I'm going to leave this alone for tonight, and I'm going to go to something else. But, see, and here's the thing, Gina. Like, I was talking to my mom about this. He could have, Charles could have passed on that, and he could have given it to William. But, of course, he didn't, because I think he's got power, issues. But my mother was like, I wish he would have passed it to William, because he's already old. He's like 70-some years old, right? So, like, what's the point? I told a friend Australia is a prison island. They laughed at me. It's true. Well, that's where David lives. He's in Australia, so my Scottish blood laughs with you. I told him, yeah, okay. I want Prince William as king and his father, just saying. I agree, Gina. My mother agrees. Lots of people agree. There's also, there was a scandal. Yeah, he's like 72 or something like that, I think. I knew. But Camilla the horse is the mistress. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really thought he was too, because of Charles. I thought because of Charles's age that they would have just passed over and it would have went right to William. Of course, it would never go to Charles's brother because of all the things he did. Yeah, because he could be there for a year, 6 months, 73. Thank you, Gina, or 10 years. I mean, the family's pretty healthy from what I understand, but still, you don't ever know. You know what I mean? Video down, but I'm still here. I know I don't have to tell you that. I just like to talk. He's done some shit, though, David, hasn't he? Like, yeah. Yeah, there's so much scandalous shit that with him that's like, yeah, you'll never be in there. Well, I'll just put it this way. Steen. Excuse me. Yeah. From what I understand, Dan, if he chooses to, he could have just passed it off to his son. From what I understood, for whatever reason, he can claim, health or something like that. Yes, he should definitely be in jail, David. Yeah, there was a whole thing about that he has the ability to pass off to his oldest son, so on and so forth. And he could claim because of his health, his age, or he just isn't comfortable with it, or it's against whatever that has to do with something. I can't remember the reasons, but well, that's what I'm saying. Like he can say no, and then it would just automatically roll to. Um, I think it would go to William before it would go to Philip, wouldn't it? Yeah, because if it's passed off by Charles, then it would go to his son, not his brother. Isn't that how that works? But everybody knows that Charles wasn't going to say no because he's a creep with really big fucking ears. Power. He wanted the power. Power. Yes. Power. I think it's more the historic acknowledgement, truthfully. I really do. I was king. He can choose to, but that's only way it could have been passed. That's what I was saying, yeah. Yeah, Harry's screwed. He's not. And you remember, I don't know how many of you guys had seen or heard about this whole controversy about Harry possibly not even being Charles' son because of something Diana did, of course. But I don't know about that because the older they get, the more they kind of somewhat have that resemblance of Charles' side of the family, if you know what I'm saying. It's Charles, then William, then William's oldest son, then Harry, unless William has another. Really? That's weird. You would think that if William couldn't, if he couldn't do it or handle it, then it would go to the next brother of Charles before it would go to the son. That's strange. It goes to William's kids and they have three. Yes, so, okay. Yeah, that's weird. So it's going to be all kings from here on out. No more queens. As much as I was not a huge fan of hers, I kind of like read about her and stuff like that. And she went through some shit. And she did it for a long time. That was a tough lady, guys. So I gotta say it, I respect her. I do. God save the Queen. In the words of the Sex Pistols. William is starting to look like both, but still favors. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I remember when I seen the red hair, and I was kind of like, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" But I guess Diana's brother is a ginger, and I guess they look. Harry looks a lot like Diana's brother, so. And then there's the other rumor that Camilla is meant to be really funny. Camilla will never have horse face herself. That is not an attractive woman. I could never understand how he went from Diana to Camilla as a mistress. Like, what the fuck? Dude, you're supposed to go upwards when you do that, not backwards. You know what I'm saying? But hey, freckles and all. There is a love child from Charles and Camilla. Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard, but he can never get a crown because of what it was. Yeah, they do look I think William does a little bit too, but Harry really looks just like Diana's brother. There's no two. I mean, you can't see it. If you can't see it, it's okay. Hold on. Let me see something here. Yeah, there's no two ways to say that. One second.
Any LLC for your business doesn't have to look like this. Just Google LLC for your business. It's totally easy. You pick a state, you put your
That's really sad, just because of the scenario. All right. You guys tell me what you think. Like I said, that's Charles Spencer, her brother. You tell me what you think. I think he looks just like it looks like he's his kid. You know what I mean? For real, dude. Are you talking to dude or are you talking big? Yeah, I heard that. My mom told me the same thing, dude. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He did. He knew Camilla way before. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Prince George, then Princess Charlotte, then Prince Louis. What are we talking about, Gina? Oh, William's kids. Is that who you're talking about? I don't actually know any of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Diana's brother. Um, See, I think William even kind of looks like William. Even kind of look at him. He even kind of looks like Charles Spencer. You see what I'm saying? It's that big forehead. Excuse me. Right, right. So that was him, and then Harry. Yeah, see, there's Harry. He looks, and there's a real. From what I've understood, that he's leaving Meghan Markle. Like, really? After everything they went through, like to make their life the way they wanted it, now he's gonna leave her. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, you know how or not speculation, but rumor gets around and what happens with it. Yeah, see, he looks like Charles Spencer a lot to me too. I don't know. It is what it is, guys. Who knows? Charles couldn't marry Horseface because she didn't come from a royal family like Diana did, or something. Well, Diana didn't come from a royal family either. From what I understand, she came from a very basic family. But yeah, that looks like Diana's brother, 100%. We have 5 heads in our family too. That's great, Robin. I love it. Yeah, Charles is a that dude got I don't know when he was little. They must have beat him with the ugly stick because he got all the ugliness. They're both losing their hair for sure. Harry and William. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I thought, from what I understood, they were just a very basic family. Oh, see, there's the brother, William. Now there he is. That's see his wife. I think she's really pretty. Hmm. Oh well. Diana did like Milda. What? In what way? What do you guys mean? They're linked closely with. Oh, okay. Gotcha, David. Oh yeah, yeah, of course. That I don't know. What's up, Pamela? How are you? Camilla came from nobility. Her grandma was a cousin, but I really don't think that Diana had any kind of royalty, unless it other than what they were married into. Good to see you, Pam. Thanks for jumping in tonight. All right, let me see here. Diana's father was an earl. Earl Spencer owned author. Okay. All right. Well, that's. Thank you for the info, Pam. I'm dumb at it, so good job. I'm in the GB. Okay. William and Kate are 14th cousins. You know, I had heard somewhere years ago that like royal families. This is probably not true, but you know how things like this are talked about. That royal families actually do that kind of thing on purpose, trying to keep the bloodline like pure. Or they used to, maybe it's not like now, but I don't know. That's kind of weird to me, but it is what it is. Okay, well, and I never said you were wrong, hon. I just don't know. I maybe it's because I watched a stupid ass movie and it was like showing her father and like they were just pretty basic looking people. I thought, but that's all. My ignorance and stupidity. It's my problem. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. There's a whole lot of the inbreeding in royal families because they think that it keeps their bloodline pure, and it's like, I think I'd rather go with a very unpure bloodline than to worry about that kind of thing because that's no, 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 no. I mean, I have some attractive cousins and all this and that, but nah, sorry, not my thing. Must be Tasmanian. The crown isn't. Wait, remember the crown isn't factual. What do you mean by that, Miss Pamela? That's my youngest son was asking me. We were watching on the news and stuff, and he's like, "Dad," I said, "Yes." He goes, "They really don't like the queen. Like she's not really like used like for decisions that are this and that and anything anymore, is she?" And I said, he goes, because of Parliament and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow, this kid knows something about this, which they teach it at school, I'm sure. But and I was like, I mean, I think she's more there as like a visual figure, but she does have certain things that she had to do regularly. But I think that most of like the law and this and that, everything else, like does go through Parliament and all that, but I think they still go to her for certain things because she is the damn queen. Yeah, figureheads is like I mean, well, shit, our government's the same damn thing anyway, so excuse me. Yes, ma'am, go get some sleep, but you have a great evening and a even greater day tomorrow, Gina. Again, well wishes from all of us, of course. We love you. And again, I hope and pray, and I'm sure they will have the most beautiful, wonderful, long life ever. 100,000 folk in London today. Oh, God, I'm sure. I'm surprised there wasn't more. But have a great evening, honey. We will see you soon. Thanks so much for jumping in tonight. Much, much, much appreciated. What am I going to do about that? Damn it. So, how many of you guys know where this place is? Right here. Does anybody understand or know what that is? Miss Brady should know what that is. Right down that line right there. Anybody ever heard of this place? Texas, Arkansas. Texas, Arkansas. Texas, Arkansas. Texas, Arkansas. Kind of weird. Are you out of here too, CC? Oh, I understand, none. Thank you so much for being here. As always, the sweetest lady on the internet. I understand completely. You have a great, great, great night. Get some beautiful sleep, and we'll see you soon. Border of Texas and Arkansas. That's right. Yeah. Well, that is Texarkana, USA. Basically, there's a line that runs right down the middle, and Texas and Arkansas kind of run together. It's a real place, for sure. Texarkana, USA. For sure. Well, back in the day, I told you guys about this the other day. I'm gonna just get started on it a little bit because I don't want to keep you guys on here forever. I'm sure you don't want to be, but there were some murders that happened back in the day, back in the 40s, that went unsolved for a long time. A couple people think they have solved it. Yes, they did make a couple movies actually. Yeah, yes, it was Miss Michelle. That's right. 8 hours, huh? There's some creepy places there, I was told, but it is what it is. It does. It kind of does look a little bit like San Fran, but this is back in the 40s and 50s and whatnot, so. You couldn't see it, Pam? I'm sorry. Let me blow it up again for you. That is Texarkana, USA. Texarkana. It's a really interesting ass story, though. It really was, guys. Like, it was up, woof. Woofy doof. Good to see you, bub. So, the phantom murders that terrified Texarkana. Where's it at? February 26th. $1946. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, I saw the movie first on accident, not knowing what the hell it was. And then I actually, because of the movie, it said in the movie that it was based on a true story and all that. So I love that kind of stuff. So I went back and checked out the whole story, and well, you know how it goes. The first attack.
After parking the vehicle.
Let's see here. Leatherface holidays there. Yeah, well, I tweeted this out as well to my 23. Well, thank you very much, Wolf. I appreciate you.
Jimmy and Mary quickly settled in to get comfortable with one another for the...
Hold on a minute.
"25-year-old Jimmy Hollis and his 19-year-old girlfriend, Mary Jean Loray, exit..."
This is Mirror Mind, Miss Heather. Thank you.
At a local movie theater and got into Mr. Hollis's Chevy to drive home. They soon discovered that they weren't quite ready to call it a night and decided to go and park the car.
Can you guys hear that okay? By the way, I just want to make sure.
On a local Lover's Lane, which was just off Richmond Road on the Texas side of town. This was long before the era of Netflix and chill, so young couples looking to be intimate would often go and park on secluded back roads called Lover's Lanes that were usually very private. After parking the vehicle, Jimmy and Mary quickly settled in to get comfortable with one another for the next hour or so. Suddenly, just 10 minutes after they'd arrived, a man appeared on the driver's side of the car, shining a flashlight into the window and ordering the young couple to step out of the car. He wore a white sheet over his head that the two later theorized to be a pillowcase with holes cut out for the eyes and mouth. Initially, Jimmy believed this was some sort of mistargeted prank, and remarked that the stranger, quote, had the wrong guy.
Good.
However, in response to this, the hooded man aimed a pistol up to the window and replied, "I don't want to kill you, fellow, so do as I say." Realizing now that this situation was much more dangerous than they first believed, Mr. Hollis and Miss Lorray did as the stranger asked and stepped out of the vehicle. When they were outside of the car, the man ordered Jimmy to remove his pants, which he did, only for the assailant to abruptly strike him across the head with the butt of his gun, the force of which was so great that Mary believed Jimmy had been shot. Seeing this as a robbery that was quickly turning violent, Miss Lorray grabbed her boyfriend's wallet out of his discarded pants and emptied it out to show the man he wasn't carrying any money. The attacker, unfazed by her pleas, proceeded to strike her alongside her head as well, knocking her to the ground. He then ordered her to stand back up and told her to start running up the road. Terrified and dazed from the blow to her head, she began running as fast as she could and frantically searched for help, which she was unable to find. The attacker soon caught up with her and asked her why she had ran. When she responded that he told her to, he called her a liar and again struck her with the weapon, knocking her back to the ground.
That is a fact, David.
He then got on top of her and proceeded to sexually assault her.
And
Minutes
we're all
later,
feeling
though,
it.
he was surprised by a set of headlights in the distance from an approaching car and quickly ran away, leaving the traumatized Mary lying on the ground. Miss Lorray stood back up.
Sorry, dude. This is I don't know if you're brand new. Thank you so much for jumping in and subbing. If not, if you've been in here before under a different name, maybe. I'm kind of taking a break from the Kylie Rodney scenario, but I am going to tell you guys about something here in a little bit before I go. And I wanted to deal with the Phantom Moonlight murders from Texarkana from back in the 40s. It's kind of a really cold case. It wasn't completely ever solved. I talked about this the other night. I figured I would do some of it tonight and go from there. So that's all.
And ran a half-mile before she was able to finally find help from a nearby home, where she called the local police. Meanwhile, back at the scene, Jimmy had regained consciousness and stumbled up to the main road where he was able to flag down a passing car. The motorist left Mr. Hollis on the side of the road, but drove to a funeral home a few miles down the street where he used a payphone to call police. Officers arrived on scene to find a still dazed and badly injured Jimmy stumbling alongside
Thank
the
you,
road.
Miss Heather.
Mary was picked up by officers as well, and the two were taken to a local hospital for treatment, where it was revealed that Mr. Hollis had suffered a fractured skull from the blow to his head. Despite the traumatic experience they had just endured, both claimed to have a clear memory of the events that had transpired. However, when they gave their statements to police, there were some key conflicting details between their accounts. Both stated their attacker was around 6 feet tall and carried a flashlight along with his pistol. They also gave similar accounts of how the attack itself had unfolded. But some key differences remained. Mary claimed the gunman was an African American and in his early 20s, whereas Jimmy stated their attacker was a Caucasian man in his early 30s. Due to these contradictions, and the fact that a young couple being so brutally attacked at random in a small town like Texarkana seemed completely unbelievable, police theorized that the two knew their assailant and were simply trying to conceal the perp's identity. This belief, plus the lack of any physical evidence at the crime scene, made the investigation into the attack pretty much dead in the water before it even began. Soon, though, officers would come face to face with the grim reality that Jimmy and Mary were in fact victims chosen at random, and that despite the undeniable horror they had endured, they had likely been spared from a far worse fate.
Wow. Really, DraftKings? $1 million? You know, that's a lot of money just for picking players. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like one. And then I think about it. But that's because I'm Kevin Hart. But for other people, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Download the DraftKings app and take a free shot at $1 million with the leader in daily fantasy sports. Action's so good, why play anywhere else?
No, like a half a buck.
Sorry about the commercial, guys.
Just over a month later, a motorist passed by a well-known lover's lane named Rich Road just south of Highway 67 on a cool Sunday morning. Here he spotted a 1941 Oldsmobile parked alongside the road. Inside was a young man slumped over on the steering wheel. Believing he was asleep, the driver got out of his car and walked over to try and wake him. But as he approached, he noticed blood coming out of his head, as well as a woman lying in the back seat. He called police, who arrived on scene and soon identified the bodies as belonging to 29-year-old Richard Griffin and his 17-year-old girlfriend, Polly Ann Moore. Mr. Griffin was slumped across the steering wheel with his hand still resting on top of it, and had been shot 3 times in the head. Miss Moore was lying in the back seat face down with a single gunshot to the back of her head. An investigation of the area surrounding the car revealed blood splatter and stains in some of the patches of grass nearby, as well as on the outside of the vehicle. This led police to theorize that both victims had been killed outside of the car, and then placed back inside of it before the killer fled. Apart from this, though, evidence at the scene was scant at best. A storm had come through the area earlier that morning, which erased any potential physical evidence such as fingerprints. A .32 caliber shell casing was recovered just outside the car, and that was all that was found. Despite a popular nightclub being just around the corner from where the Oldsmobile was discovered, no one had seen anything or heard any gunshots. Police were also unable to determine if, like Mary, Polly had been sexually assaulted, as her body had been washed and embalmed by the local coroner before it could be looked at by a medical examiner. The couple had only been together for 6 weeks, and despite the substantial age difference, none of their friends or family were believed to have any issue with them being together. They were last seen by Molly's sister, who had dinner with them at a local cafe the night before their bodies were discovered. Now concerned there was a gunman running around targeting couples at random, police in Texas and Arkansas both launched a citywide investigation with the help of the FBI. Additionally, the fabled Texas Rangers were called in for assistance, with one particularly charismatic and famous ranger by the name of Manuel Lone Wolf Gonzalez becoming the de facto leader of the team. Manuel was an interesting man, known for his dashing good looks and his reputation as a maverick who would often brawl with suspects before placing them under arrest. He also had an attraction to speaking with the media, and loved making any kind of statement that would get him on the front page of the newspaper. During the early days of the investigation, shortly after arriving in town, he confidently declared to the reporters of Texarkana's newspapers that he wouldn't leave until the suspect was arrested or killed. A bold claim, to be sure, but one given with such gusto that many couldn't help but believe it. Unfortunately for Ranger Gonzalez and the people of Texarkana, it was not a promise he would easily be able to keep. In both cases, there was a troubling lack of physical evidence, and the only witnesses to the killer, Mr. Hollis and Miss LeRae, could not agree on the details of the suspect and were considered unreliable. Police turned to the public for help, and offered a $500 reward for any information leading to the killer's arrest. But this had the opposite of its intended effect, with many calling in false leads in hope of claiming the reward, which caused police to chase their tails. Investigators desperately hoped they would be able to find this madman before he struck again. Tragically, though, that would not be the case. At 6:30 in the morning, a Mr. and Mrs. G.H. Weaver were driving down North Park Road with their young son when they made a ghastly discovery. A young man was lying dead on the side of the road. He had been shot 4 times. The family sped off and went to a neighbor's house to call 911. When police arrived at the scene, they immediately feared this was the work of their phantom killer. The body was identified as belonging to 17-year-old Paul Martin, who was a former resident of Texarkana that was in town visiting his parents for the weekend. He had last been seen the night before when he picked up his friend, 15-year-old Betty Jo Booker, from a dance where she had been playing the saxophone in a local band. Miss Booker was not at her home, and a search party consisting of law enforcement and local citizens quickly mobilized to try and find her. Sadly, everyone's worst fears were confirmed when at 11:30 a.m. her body was discovered behind a tree almost 2 miles away from where Paul had been found. She had been shot once in the chest and once in her head. Mr. Martin's vehicle, a 1946 Ford Coupe, was discovered almost 3 miles away from where Betty Jo's body had been found, with the key still in the ignition. The similarities to the previous attacks were certainly striking. Both victims had been shot by a .32 caliber pistol. Both had been parked in a well-known lover's lane just prior to the attack, and it was believed that Betty Jo had been sexually assaulted. However, there were some key differences. First,
that guy does not look 17. He looks like he's 12 years old, or if even that, that's crazy.
They had been taken quite a distance away from the vehicle before they were killed, unlike previous attacks which took place just outside of the car. Police theorized the killer had led them some distance into the woods, where Paul attempted to fight off the assailant and give Betty Jo a chance to escape. There were signs that Mr. Martin had valiantly fought against his attacker, and this would also explain why his pants were not removed like the previous male victims, as well as why both of them were found so far away from one another. Mysteriously, Betty Jo's saxophone was not found in the vehicle or anywhere near her body during the initial search of the crime scene, and it was theorized that the killer had taken the instrument to try and sell. Unlike the previous attacks, though, evidence was also found in the form of latent prints on Martin's vehicle, but without a suspect to compare them to, they were all but useless. Like the other victims, neither Paul nor Betty Jo had any known enemies. Both had grown up in Texarkana and were lifelong friends who remained close even when Paul moved away to northern Texas. These murders were an absolute shock to all who knew them, and they were mourned dearly throughout the community, with the band Betty Jo Booker had played in disbanding and never playing a show again in her honor. And by this point, citizens of Texarkana were in a complete panic. A deranged killer was targeting random people who were just sitting in their cars not bothering anyone. On April 16th, the Texarkana Daily News ran a headline that read, quote, "Phantom Killer eludes officers as investigation of slayings pressed." This led to the murderer being dubbed the Texarkana Phantom. And much like a phantom, he seemed to be able to appear and vanish at will. Bowie County Sheriff William Presley would later state in an interview, quote, "This killer is the luckiest person I have ever known. No one sees him, hears him in time, or can identify him in any way." Posses were formed by the local communities who would go out and patrol the streets at night, and kept a particularly close eye on the roads that were known lovers' lanes. Police even attempted sting operations, planting young-looking officers and sometimes even their own teenage children in vehicles on quiet streets, which they closely watched, hoping to bait the killer out of hiding, though these attempts ultimately proved unsuccessful. Stores quickly sold out of guns and ammunition, and the reward money was tripled to over 50.
And see, when I heard that part of the story, that made me automatically think that it was somebody that was close. He's a very slow talker. Yes, Heather. I'm sorry. It made me think, this is when I read the actual story, not watched the video, but I read it. It made me think because they did like multiple sting operations like that, okay? And they actually put local deputies. One deputy sat with 3 of his children in the backseat of the car, in a spot that had been someplace they thought was a regular um, area that the guy would hit, so on and so forth, right? But the killer never attacked any of these people when it happened, so it made me think that it was somebody inside the police department or the sheriff's department. You know what I mean? It was so weird. Like, none of them ever got attacked. It's either that or it's somebody that knows them very well and knows who they are and so on and so forth. So it's just, that's something I wanted to throw in because it really struck me that way, like, immediately.
1800 which again led to several false leads being called into local police. Weeks later, the killer remained at large, with the town seemingly held hostage by the crazed murderer who would just appear from the darkness. Many teenagers and young adults decided to keep their hormones at bay and began staying inside the house during the late hours of the night, where it was safe from the killer stalking their town. Or so they thought. Around 8 p.m. on a warm Friday evening, 37-year-old farmer Virgil Starks settled in with his wife, 36-year-old Katie Starks, and began winding down after a long day of working. His back was sore from the day's work, and Mrs. Starks brought him a heating pad to help ease the pain. As she went to their bedroom to change into her nightgown, Virgil sat down next to the radio and tuned into his favorite show, beginning what both thought would be a quiet evening at home. Minutes later, as she was laying in bed, Katie heard something from the backyard and asked her husband to turn the radio down. She then heard what sounded like breaking glass from the living room and got up to see what was going on. As she exited the bedroom and went into the living room, she saw Virgil standing in front of his chair, then suddenly slumped back down into it as blood began pouring out the back of his head. Running over to her husband, Katie discovered he'd been fatally shot and quickly moved over to their phone to call police. Scared and confused as to what was going on, she was unable to see the shadowy figure standing outside her window, who took aim at her as she phoned police and fired 2 shots. One bullet struck her in the cheek and exited behind her left ear.
Damn.
The other struck her jaw, shattering it, with the bullet becoming lodged underneath her tongue. But miraculously, neither shot proved to be fatal. Falling to the ground, Katie immediately took notice of the man standing outside. The attacker moved from the window to the front door and began punching through the screen to try and enter. Standing back up, Mrs. Stark scrambled to retrieve a pistol from a nearby drawer, but the blood from her wound was blinding her and she realized she wouldn't be able to fire the weapon accurately. Having failed to open the front door, the killer made his way around the side of the home and began climbing through a side rear window that led into the Starks' kitchen. Mostly blinded and terrified she was going to die, Katie decided to make a break for it while the killer was climbing into her home and ran out the front door as fast as she could. Barefoot and covered in blood, she ran over 100 yards to the home of A.V. Prater.
Right,
Her
Michelle.
stunned neighbor answered the door, and Katie exclaimed Virgil's dead before falling over from exhaustion. Prater grabbed a nearby shotgun and fired a shot into the air, which alerted another neighbor by the name of Elmer Taylor, who quickly came over to see what was going on. Mr. Prater told Taylor to grab his car, and they laid Mrs. Starks down in the back seat before Taylor started driving her to a nearby hospital. Miraculously, Katie remained conscious the entire ride to the hospital despite massive blood loss. And in case her sheer badassery wasn't obvious enough by this point, on the way there, she reached into her mouth and pulled a gold tooth out of her broken jaw and offered it to Taylor as a reward for driving her. Police were alerted after her arrival and converged on the farmhouse. They went inside to discover the heating pad Katie had given Virgil had set the chair on fire that his body had slumped into, but were thankfully able to put it out before it spread to the rest of the house or burned any potential evidence on Mr. Starks. The scene was described by investigators as a river of blood, with Betty Jo's blood and broken teeth lying on the floor from the living room all the way out the front door.
That's crazy.
But with no sign of the killer in the home, the Phantom had once again evaded their grasp. Blockades were set up around Highway 67 in hopes of catching the perpetrator as he was trying to flee. And while some men were stopped for questioning, this ultimately didn't yield any results. Shoe prints were found leading through Katie's blood, and police discovered 2 flashlights at the crime scene that did not belong to the Starks. No fingerprints were found on either one, but it was determined that less than 100 of this brand and color of flashlight had been sold in the city of Texarkana, meaning there was at least a chance they could narrow down the buyer. Unfortunately, none of the stores that had sold the flashlights were able to pinpoint the identity of the person who bought them, leaving police back at square one. In a final desperate attempt, the Texarkana Gazette ran what would be the paper's first color photograph on the front page, showing the flashlight and asking readers if they knew anyone who had bought one like it. Several leads were called in, but one by one these were also eliminated, and this promising piece of evidence turned out to go nowhere. It is worth noting, though, not all evidence pointed to this even being the work of the Texarkana Phantom. Most obviously, the choice of victims. Virgil and Katie were not some love-struck teenagers parking alongside an abandoned dirt road, but a married couple who were attacked in their own home. This was also the first murder that had taken place on the Texas side of the border. Shell casings recovered at the crime scene did not match the caliber of bullet that had been used at the previous shootings either. This led to many officers speculating that this was not the work of the Phantom at all, but a copycat who had a grudge against the Starks and was using the recent killing spree as a cover for their attack. This was disputed by Mrs. Starks and their friends, who insisted they had no quarrel with anyone, much less someone angry enough to try murdering them in their own home, meaning that, like the prior victims, they had likely been chosen at random. The murder of Virgil Starks sent the already panicked town over the edge. It was bad enough that this killer could strike from the darkness of night and attack unsuspecting people parked in their own cars. But if he had become so brazen as to attack a married couple in their very own home, then truly nowhere in Texarkana was safe. Local shops that had already made sure to keep a hefty supply of guns and ammunition saw their stock get completely cleaned out. People began to set up homemade booby traps and alarms for their door in case someone tried to enter during the night. And during evening hours, Texarkana became as close to a ghost town as it could get. Unbeknownst to all of these people at the time, however, the murder of Virgil Starks would prove to be the Phantom Killer's final crime, as he would soon fade back into the darkness as quickly and suddenly as he had emerged from it. This left police with the unenviable task of trying to identify this enigmatic killer with scant evidence and few witnesses. And try as they did, the unfortunate truth is this investigation was likely doomed from the start. In the aftermath of the Phantom's crimes, police were faced with an incredible dilemma when beginning the investigations. Like we observed previously, almost no evidence outside of shell casings and some latent fingerprints was recovered from any of the crime scenes. Additionally, the panicked state of the town led to several false leads being called in that proved more distractions than anything else. It was common for police to be called to a home where a prowler was supposedly spotted, only for it to be a stray cat rummaging through a trash can outside or some other unremarkable explanation. The fear of local residents also made things harder in more ways than just this. Everyone in Texarkana, man, woman, and in some cases child, was now walking around armed and afraid. One officer later described the eerily tense state of the town, remarking that any time he drove to someone's home to ask them questions, he had to show up blaring his siren as to not be mistakenly shot by a frightened resident. One incident even took place where a bartender shot a patron in the foot who showed up unannounced to the tavern looking for a drink. This would have been difficult enough for a police force working together in perfect harmony, but the ragtag group of investigators searching for the Phantom Killer was basically as disjointed a group as could be. Many of them resented Texas Ranger Manuel Gonzalez, as they felt he was more concerned with the attention he was receiving from the local and national press as opposed to solving the crime itself. And there was ample evidence to support this belief. Ranger Gonzalez would often take credit for work other investigators had done, and present their findings to local news outlets as though they were discoveries he had made. In truth, despite inserting himself as the public face of the investigative team, he contributed very little to the investigation itself, preferring to remain at the station and give press briefings, or to go out and give interviews on the radio where he would often leak details of the case publicly that many other officers wanted to remain private. This further muddied the waters of an investigation that was already working with very little, wasting valuable time for those who were actually out in the field doing the work Gonzalez was taking credit for. The de facto leader of the investigation, being a man that very few of his colleagues actually respected, resulted in a fractured approach to the investigation and a lack of coordination between the various camps of officers, which no doubt lowered the odds of success further than they already were. Despite his bold claim that he would remain in Texarkana until the murderer had been caught, 3 months after the killing of Virgil Starks, Ranger Gonzalez would leave the town never to return. He retired from the Texas Rangers a short time later, where he then pursued a career, ironically enough, in Hollywood. This isn't to say the investigation was entirely fruitless, however. In fact, several suspects and persons of interest were identified. One of them, a man by the name of H.B. Tennyson, who had the unfortunate nickname of Duty, was a student at the University of Arkansas who took his own life by ingesting a cyanide pill on November 6, 1946. In his suicide note, Tennyson confessed to the murder spree in Texarkana, and physically was a reasonable match for the suspect given the information investigators had. However, further examination into his whereabouts during the murders revealed that he could not have been the killer, and was likely giving a false deathbed confession, as we've seen happen in other cases covered on this channel. Another lead was a man in Corpus Christi, Texas, who walked into a music store and attempted to sell the clerk a used alto saxophone. When the store clerk told the man she would need to speak with her manager before agreeing to any such purchase, it caused him to become very nervous and flee the store just when the manager was summoned. This made the store owner contact police, and 2 days later the man was arrested at a hotel after purchasing a .45 caliber pistol from a local pawn shop. In his possession, officers found a bag of bloody clothing, which he claimed was from cutting his head during a bar fight. The clerk at the music store also identified him as the man who had attempted to sell the saxophone to her, but no instrument was found in his possession or in his hotel room. Police interrogated the man over the course of the next several days, during which he adamantly denied involvement in the murders and gave alibis for the night of each attack. These alibis were checked out, and it was determined he was in fact telling the truth, eliminating him as a suspect. Oddly enough, Months later, in October 1946, Betty Jo's saxophone was recovered not far from where her body had been discovered, in an area that law enforcement confirmed they had searched the day her body was found, meaning that it was very likely the killer had returned to the crime scene to dispose of it. Many other suspects looked into by law enforcement resulted in similar patterns. Police believed they may have a lead, but then would ultimately rule out the person, with one lone exception who is considered by many to be the true phantom killer, Yule Swinney. Swinney was a petty criminal with a history of counterfeiting and car theft. Max Tackett, a rookie with the Arkansas State Police, noticed that on the night of Betty Jo Booker and Paul Martin's murders, a car had been reported stolen, and that stolen vehicles had been found abandoned shortly after the previous two phantom attacks. Just over a month after the murder of Virgil Starks, he noticed a stolen vehicle parked in the lot of a local shopping center, and decided to stake it out and wait for the suspect to return. To his surprise, he didn't find a 6-foot-tall armed man, but a thin woman who stood barely over 5'3", 21-year-old Peggy Swinney. Upon her arrest, she was taken in for questioning, where she made a startling revelation. Her husband Yule, whom she'd only recently married, was in fact the phantom killer. She took it one step further and even claimed to have been present on the night of Virgil Stark's murder, and claimed to have waited in a car nearby while her husband went to the couple's home and committed his crime. Police were understandably skeptical at first, but credibility was initially lended to her story when she revealed information that wasn't known to many members of the public at the time, such as the location of some of Paul Martin's belongings, which had been discarded at the scene. Officers even discovered that in the woods near Betty Jo's body, a heel print from a woman's shoe was found, with police originally thinking it belonged to Betty Jo, but now realized it could also have come from Peggy. Understandably, officers wanted to speak with her husband, but she revealed he was currently in the city of Atlanta, Texas, trying to sell a stolen vehicle. Officer Tackett contacted the police chief in Atlanta, where he discovered that a man had recently attempted to sell a stolen vehicle to one of their locals, who reported the incident to law enforcement. Tackett drove there and interviewed this resident, who he observed had a very unique appearance that included cowboy boots with a matching hat. This local said he wouldn't be able to remember the car thief's appearance, but the shrewd investigator realized there was a good chance that the car thief would remember the man given his distinct look. Officer Tackett then asked the man to accompany him to several public spaces, hoping that perhaps the suspect would become nervous seeing him accompanied by a police officer and would try and flee. The gamble soon paid off. Walking into the Arkansas Motor Coach bus station a few days later, Tackett observed a man run out of the back of the building after he arrived and began giving chase. The officer ran into a rear alley and caught the man climbing up a fire escape. The man who'd fled was Yule Swinney, and suspiciously, when Officer Tackett confronted him on the fire escape, Mr. Swinney begged him not to shoot. Tackett replied, quote, "I'm not going to shoot you for stealing cars," to which Swinney responded, quote, "Mister, don't play games with me. You want me for more than stealing cars." He was arrested and taken to the police station, where he again alluded to his arrest being for something more severe than car theft, asking if he was going to, quote, "get the chair," and that, quote, "I know you have me here for more than cars." It had been just over a month and a half since the shooting of Virgil and Katie Starks, and Officer Tackett, as well as many of his colleagues, believed they had finally caught the elusive phantom killer. However, problems quickly began developing not long into their investigation of Swinney. For starters, Peggy's confessions became more and more contradictory the more they talked to her. Police believed this was due to her trying to minimize her involvement in the killings, but soon began losing trust in her story. A short time later, a letter Peggy had sent to her parents was intercepted, where she told them that she had lied to investigators during her confessions, and eventually she would go so far as to recant her statements entirely. Even worse, Mr. Swinney's fingerprints did not match the latent prints recovered from Paul Martin's vehicle, which meant the investigation hinged entirely on circumstantial evidence. And despite his early incriminating statements, Yule soon realized that police didn't have much evidence on him for the murders and quickly stopped talking. Knowing they would have little odds of success charging him in the murders, prosecutors elected to throw the book at him for his car thefts instead. Mr. Swinney was a three-time felon, meaning he could be given the harshest sentence for car theft allowed under Texas law, which was life in prison. Many officers later said they believed this was effectively an unofficial plea bargain, as they lacked evidence to charge him officially with the murders, and Swinney desperately wanted to avoid the death penalty. He was convicted in 1947 and would spend the next 26 years in prison, but was eventually released when it was determined one of his prior charges, which had been used to justify his extreme sentence, was void due to the fact he had been denied legal representation. Yule would continue to deny his involvement in the Phantom murders for the remainder of his life, until he passed away in a Dallas nursing home at the age of 77 in 1994. To this day, the Texarkana Moonlight murders have never been officially solved, and despite exhaustive investigations into the killings, little new evidence has been found. Many still believe Swinney was responsible for the murders, but with him and all of the investigators now dead, it is unlikely this case will ever be solved. Ironically, in the years since, the killings have become something of a local legend for the town of Texarkana, keeping the mysterious Phantom story alive long after he himself had faded back into the shadows. This is Crime Spot, and thank you for watching.
Alright, and now, thank you guys for bearing with me on that. For those of you that made it through it, I see that not all of you did, but his voice was very putting you to sleep too, so I get it. In 76, this movie, I watched this movie too, it's pretty good. It came out, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. And it was basically this whole story here. There's a lot more to this that I was going to show you guys. I'm not going to do it tonight, but that's just kind of like a kickoff of it. Basically, the beginning of the story. There's a lot more detail in the other murders, so on and so forth, that I'm going to go into with this, but that's the generalized basic version of everything, so you guys know the basis of it. No worries, Shadow. And I'll get into more of it for you guys. I don't know where that crazy noise is coming from. Maybe I'm the only one that can hear it. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's an interesting story. Like I said, there's more detail that I'm going to go into, but I just wanted to show you guys a baseline of the basic story to get you guys know or into what's going on with it and let you guys know how it went. Okay, it's really interesting. So that's pretty much it as far as that goes for tonight. What's up, Broken? Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. What was I going to say? Oh, so that's the basis of it. Again, if anybody's curious, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. Michelle says it's strange how even then there were problems with law enforcement. That's a fact, isn't it? It's crazy. It is what it is, guys. So we know the basic part of the story, so on and so forth. If you guys want to check out this movie by some chance, go check it out. It's worth watching. It's an older movie. The filming wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it. And they pretty much hit everything point for point in the movie too. So the next time we touch on it, I'll get into some details and some other parts of the story. Show you guys some more things that they had that they pulled out. They were clues for it. And again, in a way, I feel like, there's a possibility that law enforcement was actually involved in this in some sense because, like I said, at one point they had done these sting operations to kind of try to catch this guy. Um, he didn't bother with it. It's like he knew. That was kind of odd to me, you know. Either he knew or he knew someone who knew or somebody was kind of tipping him off somehow or I don't know, guys. It's very weird to see that happen and nobody be able to catch this guy. So there was something going on that wasn't right. I hope you guys, for those of you that had never heard it, I hope you guys kind of enjoyed it a little bit. Like I said, it was boring. His narrating on it, it was just like, you know what I mean? So my apologies for those of you that I ran off that weren't interested. Heather hit it right on the head when she said he's a slow talker, and I was sitting here nodding off here and there too. But it is what it is. So we got it down. We are going to move into the other stuff, like I said, with it. Again, if you want to, go check out the movie. If not, no worries. Anybody have any comments on it or about it or anything that they wanted to throw in there? Or did you find it interesting? Was it the dumbest sounding shit you ever heard? Anything? Hold that thought or type that thought. I'll be right back. Bathroom again. Hello. I'm back. Welcome, Miss Star. Good to see you. I told you I might be live by the time you got home. I hope you had a good time tonight, Miss Star. I'm jealous that you got to eat that great looking food. Thank you, Miss Michelle. I appreciate that. Good to know. Good to know. Does anybody have any questions about it by chance? Yes, no, maybe so. Let's see. Oh, okay, good to know, Edward.
Tonight, a final case from the Tells.
Oh, it sounds like, how far away did you have to walk, Star? Sounds interesting, Edward. All right, well, looks like everybody took off for the night, so let me see. Well, hell, I've been going a decent amount of time anyway. Let me see here. All right, well, all right, guys. Seems like communication during the investigation got my attention, and the fact that when they had decoys, nothing happened. And that's my point. Again, it seems like there could have been law enforcement involved. You know what I mean? So, most definitely. Yes. So, all right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to bring her down for tonight. Again, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Again, I appreciate you. Hit the like button, please, if you enjoyed. And again, guys, if you can, please support me in the channel. It definitely helps out right about now. I got StreamYard's due again, and so is the internet, as always. So, got to pay the bills to keep it going, guys. But if you can, I appreciate it. If you can't, don't worry about it. But I definitely appreciate you guys just for being here tonight. Support me like you do. I love you guys to death. It's always a good time. 9/11, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, it's always fun, Star. Gotta love the bandit. David James, I see you leaving, sir. Have a great night. You have a great night, sir, and we will catch up with you soon, my brother. Thank you once again for being here. We love you. Star, thanks so much for jumping in like you did, my dear Edward. Same with you, Miss Michelle. Have a great night. I love you for jumping in. Anybody else that was in here tonight, thank you so much for being here. Miss Heather did a great job as always. Miss Brandy and Strike First, thank you guys for doing your jobs as mods. Thank you guys for being here with me. Again, I love all you guys to death. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And if I don't see you tomorrow, have a great Sunday. Don't forget, love each other, love yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.